At some point in our lives, we'll all need to access our local health and social care services. And when we do, all we want is for them to be easy to access and provide good quality care. In Bournemouth, Poole and Dorset, our services are delivered by many different agencies. This often has a negative impact on the quality of care we receive because we experience disjointed, uncoordinated care. Our agencies want to change this and know they could be working better together, so they've jointly developed a programme called just that, Better Together. The programme's aim is to improve a person's experience of using health and social care services, ensuring they receive good quality, person-centred, joined-up care. So what needs to change to make this happen? How about better communication? Coordinated and shared resources? Early intervention and preventative measures? And person-centred services? Locally, there are already some really good examples of how some services are being delivered in a joined-up and person-centred way. But before we look at these case studies, we're going to meet Cathy and her mum Mona, whose experiences of health and social care services powerfully illustrate just how important it is for everyone to work better together.
The way in which we were discharged from hospital very quickly over a weekend made the situation very difficult to cope with. We didn't seem to be picked up within the community and there was no support, and we were suddenly left with providing 24-hour care through the night with a package of care which was 2 carers 4 times a day, one of which of the carers was myself. I discovered that hospital systems have a social worker, and that has to be transferred to the county social services department, and that hadn't been facilitated. And it was purely by chance I discovered that my mother hadn't been made live on the social services system within the community. Unknown to us, quite a lot of equipment didn't turn up that was due to come. We hadn't been given an itinerary of what should be due to come home. It was several weeks later we discovered that my mum should have been sent home with a commode. I feel there should have been a lot more support.
So we can see that all of our services need to talk to each other and share information about us, so that every stage of our care is coordinated and everyone is in the know.
Due to my mother's complex situation, I've had to deal with numerous people of differing expertise, like GP, Parkinson's nurse, district nurses, speech and language therapists, dietitian. In dealing with all of these services is quite complex because they all have different telephone numbers, they all work different hours. It would be really helpful to me if all of these professions could coordinate their resources and their systems so that I don't have to keep repeating the same scenario again and again and explaining the situation, because my time as a carer is very heavily taken up.
Resources need to be shared and pulled together to make best use of the public pound and provide us with an efficient, coordinated service.
On discharge, we were sent home with a small amount of equipment, with very little training on how to use it. It led to extreme pain for my mother, and the Oxford hoist wasn't suitable. We then had to deal with the use of equipment with pain management, which was quite extreme. Had we been supplied with the correct equipment and training at the correct time, at the earliest possible time, my mother's health could have been greatly improved.
It's clear we need to be helped to stay independent by being provided with early intervention and preventative services.
We have to come into contact with so many services and different disciplines, and we have to accommodate their operational requirements. I really wish that these services were built around my mum's needs and my needs as a carer.
Our services need to be built around our care needs and not an agency's operational needs and boundaries. Cathy demonstrates why working better together is so important, and work is already underway in Bournemouth, Poole and Dorset, where people are receiving good quality care and the tools they need to remain independent and, as well as possible, in their own home. Following a recent fall and a short stay in hospital, Jeff has been the recipient of a reablement package, which is the provision of personal care and help with daily living activities, and is usually provided for up to 6 weeks.
I had the very best treatment right from the start.
The surgery provided care from district nurses.
Oh yes.
St Leonard's occasionally sent people in to check on his, if he needed any equipment. And the rehab people also came about physiotherapy. And then, of course, there was reablement. So 4 lots of things, which I think is pretty smart.
And it all just fell into place. So I didn't have to go asking and saying, well, look, I've done this, will you come and help me?
I think that without the support of reablement, over a period of 6 weeks, my health condition would have deteriorated a lot, and I don't think my husband's would have improved the way it has.
Not at all.
I just think the whole setup is fantastic. They cared very much what appertained to Jeff and his daily needs. Jeff is now able to see to himself, really. When he showers, I'm just there to make sure he doesn't fall. I can't believe how much care and interest and attention Jeff has had over the last 7 weeks. It's actually been phenomenal.
Broadwaters is a joint-funded facility between health and social care. Its multidisciplinary team provides rehabilitation services to people over the age of 65 who live in Bournemouth. Louise has been recuperating at Broadwaters following surgery on her knee.
So I talked to the physiotherapist in the hospital, and she of course knew about Broadwater as well, and she thought it might be a good place for me to come. It's an advantage to be under one roof for various treatments of these professionals. That is an advantage, time-wise, and also I should think it's more efficient. They can sort of discuss my case because they're all on the spot. The link between the hospital and these rehabilitation services at Broadwater are a vital link to people's recuperation, and certainly I think it was essential that I had somewhere to go.
Roger is a carer for his wife, Deirdre, who's been diagnosed with dementia. Since the diagnosis, the couple have had a lot of help from a variety of people and agencies, including Dorchester Day Centre, the Shared Life Scheme, the Community Mental Health Team, a key worker, home care support and a carer's caseworker.
Once the GP had carried out her tests, she was very proactive in informing the mental health team, and they were very quick to attend, and the support coming from the social team and the mental health team. So at the moment, my wife attends day centre 3 days a week. We also have regular visits from Nurse Pauline, who's part of the community team, mental health team for older people. We're involved with the Shared Life Scheme. So every other Wednesday my wife goes out with a member of the Shared Lives team. I got the information about what equipment was available from the Greenwood Centre in Dorchester. We managed to get a sensor pad for the bed. So that works really great. If I'm not in the same room as her, if she does decide to get out of bed, then it triggers an alarm, a pager. I've been more than pleased with the support that Deirdre and I have had since the day she was diagnosed. It's taken a few months to get things into place, but the support has always been there. I thought the whole process was very quick. It's a very hard job being a carer. It's a 24/7 job, and if the backup and support isn't there for the carer, then the carer begins to suffer.
The Better Together programme wants to make experiences like these the norm for us in Bournemouth, Poole and Dorset, and are determined to make this a reality.
This is probably the first time in my experience when I see a huge commitment and enthusiasm from all the public sector bodies across the whole of Dorset. In the past, we may have seen enthusiasm in the local authority doing their thing, and previously the NHS doing their thing. But now what we see is both sectors of the public sector coming together to make a real difference. Not only have we seen people ready to join the meeting at the outset, but we're also seeing people actually stay in the room and maintain that commitment to making a difference to the lives of people across Dorset.
We need innovative solutions to encourage integrated, people-centred services. If you have ideas or want to share your experiences of health and social care services, then do get in touch. Let's all of us work better together.